Today we are going to see APIGEE platform from Google. So this is the API management platform from the Google, which is the one we are going to see today. So before that, we will try to understand the different terms in API management. So first of all, what is API? So API is an application programming interface, and it's a service provided by an application to other external application to exchange the data, which means it's a service. For example, any application, if they wanted to provide any option to interact with that particular application. For example, there is an application want to expose their data to external application. Then what they want to do, what they can do is they can use this API to expose the data. So API is application programming interface, which is a service provided by an application to other external application to exchange the data. So for example, I have a program which is a servlet. Okay, so if I wanted to expose the data to my external application, then I can expose that as a API. I can give it to any source, so that they, through that API, they can send the data, they can receive the data. So that is the main purpose of API. And what is API management? So in order to do any management of API, for example, you wanted to create a API, so you wanted to design a API, and once you created, you are going to deploy, and finally you want to secure the API, and you wanted to analyze the API, how your API is performing, and you wanted to scale up the API. For example, your API is getting thousands of call or millions of call, then how do you want to set up, or how do you scale up the API to perform well? So that this API management platform will give a visibility and control for your API through this API management platform. And we have many API management platform available from many vendors. So Google has a Google APIGEE platform. Similarly, MuleSoft have a API designer or API manager. Software AG has a API management tool. So every integration or a platform has this kind of API management tool. Through that, we can secure the API. And if you see APIGEE platform, so how the data is coming from different partner. Okay, so for example, I want my backend system data to expose to my partner. Okay, so then what I can do is I can expose that via my APIGEE platform, which can control your security, which can, from there you can manage your API. Okay, so what I can do is I can register whatever the service which I have in my backend system via APIGEE platform, so that I can give access, I can give a control to use for my partner. Okay, so my partner apps can invoke my API which is available in APIGEE platform. Similarly, if I have a consumer app, for example, I have a mobile app, I have a websites, so those kind of things I wanted to give access to my APIGEE platform where my APIs are available. And also employee apps, for example, employee wants to raise some request for the HR department or any stuff, those kind of things I can expose the API via here, so that I can externalize the data via API platform, so that my application or different devices can access those data. So it's not only for your backend services, it is for your cloud apps or anything. Okay, so which you wanted to expose it via APIGEE platform. Okay, so similar to APIGEE platform, there are many API management platform which we can use it to expose a API as well. Okay, I'll move on to the next slide. So what is APIGEE? So this particular demo we are going to talk about only APIGEE, and how APIGEE will help to expose the API, how we can enforce the governance for every API. So those kind of things we are going to see today. So what is APIGEE? So APIGEE is a platform for developing and managing an API. By fronting the services with the proxy layer, Edge provides an abstraction or facade for your backend service API, provides security, rate limiting, quotas, analytics, and more. For example, you have a backend API, you have a database details, and those kind of things, right? Those kind of services you wanted to expose it to API Edge, so that you can connect to many application. For example, your mobile is directly connecting a backend API, so we are adding a APIGEE platform inside or in between, which will give you the facility of security. Okay, so for example, you wanted to give a client authentication, or you wanted to give some kind of OAuth authentication, you wanted to secure API or secure backend system, right? So which you can do everything via this APIGEE Edge. So it's not only a mobile app, so it could be a point of sales machine or partners or web, right? So these all client apps, everybody wanted to connect your API, so that they can access your backend service. With this APIGEE platform, you can also limit, do the rate limiting. For example, there are thousands of calls coming per minute, and you wanted to how do you wanted to control it? So I wanted to allow 100 requests per second or 1000 requests per second. So those kind of things, you know, you can allow, so that, you know, you cannot your mobile app or the external world, you know, not come up with a lot of requests, so that, you know, you can secure your API. And also you can set a quota for each application. For example, mobile application, I wanted to limit the requests coming from mobile, I wanted to limit, or I wanted to set a quota 100 per second. So similarly, every application I can specify quota, so that, you know, they can use it within the quota. Next one is analytics. So for example, I wanted to enable analytics for that particular API. For example, I'm invoking some member data from this backend service. So I wanted to enable analytics, so that, you know, I know how many members are getting created, how many members are enquiry, how many enquiry has happened for that particular member. So those kind of things, you know, I can enable the analytics here, so that, you know, I can monitor, and then I can secure, I can do all kind of API management in this APIGEE Edge platform. I'll move on to the next slide. So what we can do with APIGEE, right? So we can design a API. For example, you can create a proxy. For example, you have a backend API. Instead of giving backend API to your mobile to invoke, so you can, you know, have the proxy created, so that, you know, you can expose the proxy URL to your mobile. So the mobile can call the proxy URL, and proxy can call your backend URL. So in that case, you know, if the requests are coming to your APIGEE platform, you can do all kind of API management. You can enforce API policies, which will, you know, give a benefit of security, client authentication, or rate limiting, or quota, or many other policies are there, which you can define as well in your proxy. So what is design API? Easily create API proxies and visually configure or code API policy as a step in the API flow. So in the API management, right, or API Edge platform, you can design an API. It's all, you know, kind of a drag and drop only. So you can visually configure. You don't need to write a coding there. So you can visually drag and drop, and you can configure whatever the policy required for your API. And also you can customize the API behavior using code, plus transform from one form of protocol to another protocol. For example, my backend is exposing a API via SOAP. I wanted to expose it as a REST. So those kind of protocol conversion or the transformation, you can do it in the APIGEE platform. So that is where, you know, we are talking about design API, right? So how do you secure the API? Enforce consistent security, best practices, and governance policies across all API. For example, I wanted to enforce my runtime governance. For example, the source is invoking my API. I wanted to, you know, enforce some policy, so that, you know, I can avoid some threats. Okay, so for somebody is hacking your system, so you wanted to, you know, control the threats. So how do you do it? So you can enable some OAuth authentication or SAML, or you can enable some kind of, you know, two-way TLS security, and also, you know, you wanted to encrypt or decrypt. So those kind of things, you can use it in your API management platform to secure your API. And what is publish API? For example, you have developed your API and you wanted to publish your API for documentation, so that, you know, in your organization, if anybody wanted to see what are the APIs are available, they can, you know, see from the reference documentation, which is available in the API portal. So what you can do is, once you design an API, you can publish your API to the portal, so that anybody can come and view the API before consuming it. Analyze the API. So drill down the data into API traffic data, investigate traffic spike, and trace live API calls with a real-time insight from your data. Track active developers and apps associated with the revenue metrics. For example, you wanted to analyze the APIs. For example, how many calls are coming to my API, how my APIs are performing. So for example, my API has invoked, is it responding within 1 second or 2 seconds? Is there any improvement I need to do? So in the peak volume, how many API I am getting it? So those kind of things you wanted to analyze it, that you can do it in the analyze API. So you can analyze the API in the APIGEE platform as well. And you can monitor API. So for example, once you deploy to production, you wanted to monitor your API, how your API is performing, how many calls are coming every hour, how many calls are coming in the last 24 hours, is there any failure, and what kind of failures are coming. For example, I'm invoking a backend system is down. So I wanted to monitor that. So those kind of things, you know, you can monitor, and, you know, you can investigate what is the issue which is happening in your API. So those kind of things you can do it via monitoring. So these are the things, you know, what are the things, you know, at the high level you can do with the APIGEE platform. I'll move to the next slide. API Proxy Editor. So this is the editor, right? So we will use, this is the editor to develop or design your API. For example, API Proxy Editor is a management UI. It includes full XML views of API proxy configuration, search, option for adding a policy, endpoint, scripts. Okay, so if you see this one, right, so this is the API editor. So if I log into APIGEE platform with my login, you can, you know, see API proxy. Once you click, and then, you know, it will ask what is the proxy you select. So I have already selected one policy proxy. So once you select proxy, I have selected that one under the develop tab only. So you'll be able to see this editor, which is called API Proxy Editor, where you can see what is your default flows, and then what are the endpoints are there. So those kind of things you can configure here. Endpoint you can configure. For example, what is the backend API you need to invoke, that you can configure here. And if you wanted to add any specific policy, you can select pre-flow, and when the API received and you wanted to add some policy, so you can click this step where you can add a policy. So once you add a policy, you will have this XML way of information where you can edit or you can modify the data which you wanted to customize your API. So this is the API editor, and this is the page, the develop tab, where you will come and add the policies. Or if you wanted to add new flows, for your get operation or search operation or update operation, you can add it in this plus symbol. So this is where we'll add our proxy. And trace, this is for your debugging purpose, to see you wanted to see what is the data coming in at the time of debugging. You can do it from the trace session as well. So this is the way, right? So you can create or you can design your API via the proxy editor. This editor also includes support for SOAP pass-through messages, include policies that handle RESTful calls to backend SOAP services. For example, you can add a lot of policies here for like SOAP to REST or REST to SOAP. Those kind of policy you can do, and you can do a conversion for that API level conversion as well. So design API itself, right? So we saw how we define API. So we go to the API proxy editor to design the API. And also while creating or while designing the proxy, you can configure out of box policies. Okay, so policy, there are a lot of policies are there which you can configure, and you can there are a lot of policies like quota policies there, and you have rate limiting policy, spike arrest policy, and JSON to XML conversion policy. There are many policy which you can apply, and you can get the benefit out of it as well. And support for RESTful API, and for example the API layer to transform RESTful. For example, you have a SOAP based API, okay, so from the backend which you wanted to expose as a REST, that is also possible. So you will apply the policy for which supports SOAP to REST conversion. To do that, you can expose that backend API, the backend SOAP API to REST as well. I'll move on to the next slide. Secure API. So for example, you wanted to secure the API. So this is your APIGEE platform. Your apps is here and backend system is here. So if you don't have APIGEE, then how your Apple talk to backend system directly, right? So if you wanted to have APIGEE in between, so what is the security you will achieve, right? For example, you can generate OAuth tokens at the runtime, and you can implement JSON thread protection. For example, somebody is pushing a lot of data in a JSON, just to trying to hack your system, or push a lot of payload which you wanted to avoid. For example, the same JSON itself, you are getting thousands of records or 10,000s of records or millions of records. So which you wanted control. So you can apply this JSON thread policy, which will say how many nodes you wanted to have it at the maximum. So those kind of policy we can have it to secure API. Similarly, right, so you can client authentication, OAuth authentication, federated identity, which is kind of you wanted to have a third party identity provider like Okta or any other identity provider you wanted to configure and manage it for your user authentication. That is also you can do it via federated identity management system. Thread protection policy. So this is to avoid any threats or any bot is giving a lot of requests to you which you wanted to avoid, so that you can secure a backend system. So those kind of security you can apply with the out of box policy which is available, so that you can avoid the suspicious behavior which is coming from the source to your APIGEE platform or your company. So any threats coming to your API which will hack your system or which will give a lot of load to your system can be avoided by enabling security in this APIGEE platform via secure policy. Okay, so there are a lot of secure policies are there. Using that you can secure your API. Publish API. So for example, I have designed the API through API management through the API Proxy Editor, and finally I wanted to publish the API. So once I publish the API, the other app developers can consume it. For example, I need to tell my organization this API is available, this product API is available. For example, I'm exposing a API where I'm exposing a product data. For example, somebody is giving item number, it will give a item image, item description, item price, everything. Okay, so I wanted to tell my other developers this API is already ready, so I need to publish that API to somewhere, right? So I can publish the API to the portal so that some other app developers can go and see what are the APIs are available in my API catalog, and from there they can consume it. So you can document your API, and APIGEE developer portal let you to create comprehensive API document for your API. So this developer portal, you can create your documentation, you can mark your API, you can publish your API where anybody can come and see, run that API, and then before trying it in actual implementation, they can test it from the API console to see what is the output is coming, and before actually implementing it. Okay, so that is the purpose of publishing a API and also using the portal for consuming the or referring the API. So it's kind of a reference documentation for your API. Analyze API. For example, you have you have designed the API, and you have deployed the API in your production environment. And how do you want it to monitor, right? So you can analyze the API, and you have analyze section where you can see the traffic of it. Okay, so this particular page you can see how much traffic is coming to your API. You'll have a graph here. So I do not have data for the selected timeline. So if you have the data, right, so you'll be able to see, you can select the environment here, and you can see the performance of your API, how many messages are coming to your API. For example, there are thousands called in last 1 hour, or last 24 hours how many calls came, and what is the average response time. So those kind of things you can monitor from here, and also monitor API. So you can monitor the API to investigate the issue and fix them up fast. For example, when I monitor the API, I can see there are some failures while invoking a backend system, or your API is failing with some reason. Okay, so so if you monitor the API, then you can see what is the error it's happening, and and for example, I'm getting a lot of 500 error, or I'm getting a lot of 400 error. So I can investigate that issue, I can fix that issue as well. And what is policy? So we talked about policy, like security policies are there, and there are some transformation policies are there, like where you can convert soap to rest, rest to soap, all that stuff, right? So what is policy, right? So policy is like a module that implements a specific API, specific limited management function. So I have an API, designed it, and then API management comes with a lot of pre-built functions, okay, where which you can use and you can apply to get some benefit out of it. So that is a policy. Okay, so for example, there is a data coming at the runtime to your API. For example, I wanted provide some basic authentication. So basic authentication is a policy here which you can apply, so that whenever the API coming to your APIGEE platform, if your API design already you have specified you have to validate via basic authentication, then when the request comes, it will do a validation. So policy is like a module that implements specific limited management function. So these are the policies available in the APIGEE management platform, and the policies are designed to let you add common type of management capability to a API easily and reliably. Policies provide features like security, rate limiting policy. So how many requests I wanted to limit, and you wanted to do a transformation policy. For example, you wanted to JSON to XML conversion. Okay, so that's a transformation policy. Similarly, you wanted to XML to transform policy, which is to convert your XML to JSON. And XSL transforms, it's like style sheet transformation, where you can give one XML and apply style sheet, you can get the output of another XML format. So those kind of policies are available in the pre-built, and then you can use that to get the management function from the API. For example, I wanted to convert to XML to JSON, then I don't need to write any specific code. I can APIGEE platform itself, I can use XML to JSON policy, which will help to convert the backend. For example, my backend is only returning XML, but source I wanted to give a JSON. So then what I can do is, in the APIGEE platform, I can apply a XML to JSON policy, which will convert whatever the backend API is returning as XML, which I can apply XML to JSON. Finally, I can send the JSON back to my source. Okay, so that is the main things of this policy. If you see the policy, right, so there are a lot of policy. Access control. Okay, this is to so how you wanted to give a control to your API, right, like those kind of things. For example, you have a client IP validation, and you have assigned message. For example, this particular policy, which we can use it before invoking a backend API. For example, the source is not sending specific header, but before invoking actual backend API, I wanted to set some headers. Those kind of things I can do it with the assigned message. Basic authentication is like username password authentication. You have a caching policy where you wanted to cache some data instead of invoking every time invoking a backend API. If I have already invoked once with the input and I have already cached the data, then I can use the caching policy to serve the response from the APIGEE platform itself instead of invoking every time to my backend API. Similarly, right, so you can invoke your JavaScript, JSON to XML conversions are there, and OAuth 2 policy, OAuth version 1, 2, and quota, where you can specify some specific quota for your application, and those kind of policy, right? Spike errors, it's for anybody invoking your API with the multiple calls. So you wanted to spike errors. For example, if you see one person or a particular system is trying to push lot of data or trying to call lot of time to your API, you think like you think like it's a suspicious call coming from the source, then you can spike arrest API, okay? And verify API key. For example, you have a API which you have exposed it and you wanted to allow the source to talk via API keys. So when the API keys are sent, and you can validate using this API key, and you can allow back to talk to your backend system. So these kind of policies are there which you can use it, and you can get the benefit of policies, okay? So these are the runtime policy. When the requests are coming to your platform, you can apply this policy, and you can secure your API. Yeah, so thanks for watching, and this is the demo. And if you want more videos, you can refer my YouTube channel Techlightning, and where I post a lot of videos related to integration, and I post a lot of related to APIGEE, Software AG, MuleSoft, and other integration related video. So if you have not subscribed to this channel, please do subscribe as well. And this whatever video we talked about today, it's more of APIGEE introduction. And please watch other videos in the upcoming chapters, where I'll post a lot of videos related to demos of APIGEE platform, how to set the assign message policy, how to create a proxy, how to do a spike arrest, and what is the difference between spike arrest and quota, and how to convert your SOAP API to REST API, or how to convert your REST API to SOAP API. Those kind of things, you can see it in upcoming chapters or upcoming videos. And thank you for watching. And so if you have not subscribed to this channel, please do subscribe this Techlightning channel. Thank you. Bye bye.